Hello, you guys. Welcome back to my channel. And if you guys are new here, welcome. And if you guys haven't already, definitely hit the subscribe button right there, right in the corner. And today I have a special treat for you guys. I'm going to sit down with Maleek Milan from the hit show Legendary on HBO Max. And we're going to talk about his time on the show, his thoughts and opinions on the houses, the judges, the critiques, the drama, and the behind the scenes stuff, and his opinions. So you guys, this is nothing personal. This is just his thoughts and opinions on stuff. And I'm going to pick a comment from last interview I did, which was with Becky Lux. And the comment that I chose was, another great interview, and how lovely is he? His personality really shines through, and props to you, because it is a talent to be able to make people that you haven't met feel so comfortable. Thank you so much, Al. I totally appreciate it. And if you guys haven't watched my interview, I'm going to link it right up at the top. So make sure you guys go check that as well. Check that out, as well as my other interviews that I did from the contestants that were on the show this season, as well as season 1. So enough of me talking, you guys. I present to you Maleek Milan. First and foremost, thank you so much, Maleek Milan, for coming on my YouTube channel and just gracing us with your presence. And I'm going to ask you a series of questions about your time on the show. So thank you so much for coming on, babe.
Well, thank you for having me. I really do appreciate it.
Right. So I'm so happy to have you. You're literally one of the stars from your house that, you really are. People really do adore you. Everyone loved you on the show. So let's get straight into this interview. First question is, how was your experience on the show? Your honest opinion, your honest thoughts.
Um, it was probably one of the most intense things I've done in my life. Just from, the selection process to quarantining to rehearsals and interviews to actually being on stage and performing and going back and then having to be ready to do it all over again, to brainstorm another idea for another ball and being in rehearsals, interviewing, costume fittings, makeup. So it was at points like really overwhelming, but I do think that it gave me something that I will forever be able to move forward with, which was like a sense of confidence.
Mm, that's a good point. That's a good point, because usually balls, you have months to prepare, and
Right.
then you have, you know, a ball every week now. So you have like
Right.
to get everything together. So
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I mean that probably was that's probably difficult for you guys, right?
Yeah, because like you said, we're not used to having to be like on it and like ready to go, like go, put it on. We have time, like we have months to prepare for like such a big ball. So we definitely had to put away our egos and work together and really work with each other's strengths and, not get ahead of ourselves and be like, we're in this together as a family.
Yeah, totally agree. So next question is, you mentioned something earlier about the audition process and you getting chosen to be on the show. And the question I have for you is, how did your house get picked to be on the show and the members?
So I'm not sure how they go through selecting the houses. I'm pretty sure they have a whole team of producers and also a team of, I know Jack Mizrahi is a part of that team. So I'm pretty sure through him, they go through selecting which houses they should recommend for the show and then interviewing each member of those houses. So they picked more than 5 members definitely applied. So you had to apply through an application. You had to send in clips of you voguing, whatever the categories you walk. So those clips. And then after that, you had an interview where they kind of discussed about your history of ballroom and then, life and where you see yourself and where you want to be and why you would want to be on this platform.
Okay, that's great. So looking back in hindsight now, do you think that you were really prepared to be on the show? Like thinking back on it.
I think I was. I was like, oh, okay. I really like put it into perspective. Like, I am allowing myself, I'll go on the show and I'm going to have to allow myself to be vulnerable
Hmm.
for, them to throw anything at me, anything that they ask, I have to answer honestly. And because I would want to answer honestly, I wouldn't want to lie to, the world. And I have to be open to having the world kind of come at me um, if they do find anything that I say or do, kind of just funky or they don't agree with.
Yeah, I think that was really one of the attributes that I think why people really liked you was because you were so vulnerable and so open and transparent and just you. And so it was like, oh, we like him because of that, So it really came off on that on the final edit. So we love you for that. So now let's dive into the houses on the show. First house is the House of Orichi.
Well, House of Ricci, I really thought was a good pick for the show because Omari, he already has started his own company and they choreograph and they incorporate voguing and all these other styles. It's a really eclectic group of members. And so I already knew that uh, they already had what am I looking for to say? A step up. They already had a step up because they're used to choreographing. They're used to working with different types of people and different types of styles. So I kind of already knew that they were going to be one of the houses to beat.
Yeah, totally. I agree. I really do like them. Next house is the House of Balenciaga.
House of Balenciaga. Oh my God, this is a very popular house. Due to the many members that are there, of course, they've birthed beautiful and extraordinary members in that house. But especially, I think, it's also wider known because of Honey Balenciaga. So I was really interested to see how they were going to bring it and if, Honey was going to be highlighted most of the time. But I think they did a beautiful job with highlighting everybody that was a part of that team.
Yeah, totally agree. The House of Lux.
House of Lux. It's interesting. I want to be careful what I say.
And
I
and I just want to say to the viewers that are watching, I don't take anything personal. This is just your experiences, your thoughts, and your opinions
right,
on the
right,
show.
right,
Just
right,
on
right.
what you've seen on the show and in your interactions and with that. So it's nothing personal on that level.
Yeah, it's nothing personal at all. I think House of Lux, their members, I feel like were very unique. Um, for me, it was very interesting because House of Lux is a newer house. They actually had to like make that name on the show because the house that they came in as, they were not members of part of that house. So that was very interesting. And I'm not sure if, ballroom people who watch the show, like the ballroom community, I don't know if they picked up on that, but I'm pretty sure they
Mhm.
did.
Yeah.
Um, besides that aspect, I think all their members were great and incredible to see on stage. Definitely, like, I battled Becky. So she kept me on my ass during that battle. So
We're
it was
definitely going to get into that for sure. We're going to get into the redemption battles. So next house is the House of Chanel.
I didn't get to meet them actually.
Okay.
No, they were the way the show was filmed. It was filmed. The Grand March was filmed in two different episodes,
Mhm.
but they were not in my episode, I believe.
Yeah, you
So
were.
I didn't get to meet them. And the houses before don't get to intermingle at all. We don't get to interact with each other. We have to stay with our house because of the COVID guidelines. We only were allowed to interact with our house members.
Okay. So next house is the House of Mugler.
Oh my God, that when I saw them, I was worried. I was like, okay, because you have Arturo, who, birthed Monarchy. So he has that whole team where he choreographs and he's choreographing like religiously. So that I was like, oh shit. Along with Arichi, but definitely Mugler, I was like, yeah, we gotta pull it together because they're gonna step on some necks. So I'm like, they're gonna step on some necks. I'm scared.
Right, right. Yeah, they definitely were a house to look forward to seeing, like for sure. So, and then we're going to go on to the houses that were on your episode, which is second episode, which is the House of Garcon.
House of Garcon, I think they're all beautiful. Definitely when it comes to runway and their effects, they were always in a look, no matter if they were on stage or off stage, they were always in a look. I feel like they were always coordinated. Um, yeah, I remember I actually wanted to be in that house when I first was learning about ballroom. That was one of the houses that I was like, I want to be a part of. So it was really cool to see them there.
That is cool. That's good to know too. It's interesting. So that next house is the House of Icon.
Okay, House of Icon. They were sweet. I don't have really much to say about them, not in a shady way, but they were sweet and I like them.
Yeah. Okay. So next house is the House of Prodigy.
Also, I feel okay. I feel like they were a little robbed because their performance in the Grand March was spectacular. Like I loved it, like watching it, because when you are backstage, you see a different edit, and we saw a different edit than what they put out there.
You got the raw, unedited,
Right.
how
You get the
exactly went.
hello, yes,
Yeah.
the
Okay.
exact
Gotcha.
way. So it's like, and it's probably it was like that for one of our performances too. We saw the raw unedited, and when we saw it on TV, we were like, this is not what it was supposed to give.
How it was. And yeah, so do you think that the House of Prodigy got a messed up edit on their end?
I don't think they got a messed up edit, but I think they the judging was off. Like I don't understand what they were saying. Like, and yeah, I just feel like their judging was off. I think the performance that they gave was beyond like what they said.
Yeah, I totally agree with you with that. The House of Tishi.
House of Tishi, I think they're fab. I think they came out very different. They had a lot of trained dancers on there, so I think that definitely played to their strengths.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I think they attacked their performances in a different way than the other houses, which was, using the abilities of their dancers. Not to say that the dancers on the other houses weren't used to their best ability, but you have technically trained girls, so it's like there's a different aesthetic that's given, and I think they definitely did that well.
Very true. So the last house is the House of Milan.
Ah!
What do you think? Ow.
My house, of course. Like, hello, House of Milan. Like I said, when I first was coming into ballroom culture, Garcon was definitely one of the houses that I was like, I want to be in this house. But Milan, Stanley Milan, has definitely been a huge influence in my voguing career. And, working with him and getting to see what the house is like and what they stand for. Everything that my mother said, like we stand for, where we have dignity, we have poise, we have a fashion sense, we hold ourselves to a higher caliber, you know? So yeah, why wouldn't I want to be in this house of members that I've seen in the US and then members that I've seen in other chapters abroad that completely inspire me to want to vote better. So I'm like, this is a house to be. And we
Yeah,
have heart. We have so much heart.
yeah. So then I would want to go into speaking about heart. I want to talk about the redemption battles.
Mm.
What do you think? How do you think was so tell me all of it. What was going through your mind? How did you feel? What are your honest thoughts about it? Tell me everything.
um, that night I was definitely shitting bricks because from what the judges were saying based off our performance, I kind of felt like, there was a huge possibility that we were going to be in the bottom. So I was trying to prepare myself mentally for that battle. And this, I will say, this is like actually, was my official battle in ballroom, in mainstream ballroom. Um, so it was, you know, I was scared. I was like, what the fuck? And this is for $100,000. It's not like just a ball that I'm walking. I mean, there are cash prizes in ballroom regardless, matter depending on the ball. But this is a huger stakes environment. And so I kind of felt like, everything was weighing heavy on me. Um, so I came out there, I felt like I came out there really, really strong, but I know that I got sidetracked and I, wasn't in my right mind. I was focusing on Becky and I was allowing that to determine, you know, how this battle was going to go, because I was like, oh, they're doing this, I'm going to do this. They're doing that, I'm going to do this. Like, look at me, look at me. But I wasn't voting for myself.
Mm. So in hindsight, what would you do differently? Just focus on you?
Yeah, in hindsight, I would just focus on myself, because I knew, like, and my house told me I came out very strong, and I wasn't paying attention to Becky at all. I was looking at the judges.
Mhm.
Um, so I think, yeah, if I had to go back, honestly, yeah, if I had to go back, I would just focus on myself. But in reality, I wouldn't go back, because I look at that ball or I look at that battle and I see a lesson learned.
Mm. That's a really, really good point that you just said right now. And just FYI, you didn't do bad. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just one of those, you really just you didn't do bad at all. It's just, and then you just said something. This was your first battle that you had. Like, what are you talking about? What do you mean?
So I've battled like in OTA, like open to all balls at
Yeah.
$3 bill in New York, but I haven't been in like a mainstream ball, like a huge, you know, ball like that. I haven't premiered or debuted myself as a Milan. So that was my debut as a Milan
Gotcha.
battling.
Wow. Okay. So that's interesting to me. So when you guys are in the back, you guys obviously are looking and seeing the judges are counting the tallies of the scores and stuff, and then you guys know that you guys are on the bottom too. How does your house choose who was going to do the redemption?
Well, we decided that we weren't going to pick just one person to keep going and going and going every time if we were in the bottom multiple times, because I feel like that's something that you saw last season. And it's not tiring, but it's kind of like, okay, who else can you put out there to, fight the fight, do the do? And you see the same person. It's like, all right, we already know what this person's going to give. So our house decided we did not want to do that. And I think the strategy was, the judges had already said that they really liked me.
Mhm.
I was getting this attention from them. So I think that was the best move. We all decided that that was the best move for me to go out there.
I think that was a perfect move for you to go out there. I think you was the best candidate for you to display what you needed to display, and you did a great job doing that. So now let's go on to how do you feel about the judges' critiques
For what?
for just overall, like if you just blanket everything?
Um, I don't, I feel like their critiques, I feel like some of them made sense to me when I look back at them. But I do feel like there was a bit of bias in some of the scores and some of the comments. And I know that it's seen from, an audience perspective, because I've been told by a few people that they see the bias, they see the
Oh,
favoritism.
yes.
And it's nothing, and it's not like shading the judges, but I think when it comes to, a lot of people are putting their life on the line to come onto the show and have an opportunity to change their lives. Like, let's keep it real.
Mhm.
And when it comes down to a cash prize, well, not a cash prize, but a prize of $100,000, I think it would be best fit to judge in your logical mind, in your right mind. And when you're not doing that, it's like, well, why are we here? Because
Yeah.
we're competing in our logical mind, our right mind, and our strongest mindset possible. So we should have that reciprocated by the judges.
Yeah, I totally agree. And do you feel, in your opinion, do you feel that from the get-go, from the jump, from the start, do you feel that the judging was fair and there was no favoritism within the houses?
Um, from the Grand March, no, but after the Grand March, definitely, because we saw all the houses.
Mm,
Um, when you do the Grand March, you only see the 5 houses that you shot that episode with,
right.
or the 4 other houses that you shot that episode with.
Mhm.
Um, so not really. But definitely after the Grand March, yes, I've heard things and saw things that didn't make sense to me, especially in the episode. Uh, you see, you see, Shannon Balenciaga, she falls, and not to highlight her fall because she did what any dancer would do, just keep going, um,
Absolutely. Yeah.
and beautiful. But my thing is, when you compare it to last season, and there are mistakes being made, and they automatically chopped it, why aren't the same rules being applied here? Like, if someone falls or someone loses their shoe, it's a chop.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think that it should have been on an even playing field.
No shade to any of them. I loved all of them. Um, but I just think when you're giving houses, because you guys don't get to see every little thing that's said. Like, they chop it up and make it, into this nice little package with a bow on it
Mhm.
for, their audience to see and to enjoy. But, when you're giving houses scores based because you want to see them, not based on their performance, it kind of fucks you up a little bit. It's like, okay, so why am I here?
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree, and you made a really great point that this is a prize that can really kinda change someone's life, and I think that that's a good point that I don't think anyone that I have interviewed so far has said, and you're right, splitting the $100,000 however many ways, it could be a life-changing moment for some people, you
Yeah.
know? So, yeah, great point, by the way, love that. In your opinion, is a legendary and accurate portrayal of the ballroom scene?
Um, no, not completely. I feel like it's a fantasized mainstream um, version of ballroom. They had especially the category, I think it was male figure and pumps. That's not a real category in ballroom.
Yes, I know.
I was
I
like,
was like, "What?"
yeah, I was like, where did that come from? I don't understand. But maybe they were trying to make things interesting and spice it up. But then it's like, then that's not really ballroom. Like, it should already be interesting because you're giving the perception of what ballroom already is. So you shouldn't have to do something else to it and jazz it up and be like, oh my gosh, that's it. Like, they're going to love it. They should love it because they're getting an experience that they don't get already.
For season 3, what advice would you give to the other houses that are on the show?
I would say be yourself. Just be yourself and don't feel like you have to be this other person. That's for me. Like, I
Yep.
know that sounds so cliche, like just be yourself. But if I had to give someone advice, that's what I would say. Just if I had to talk to myself and be like, it's okay. You don't need to do more than what you already do. You don't have to be
Mm,
this um exaggerant, not exaggerant, that's not even a word. What am I talking about? But you don't have to be this bigger person than what you already are. Just go there, be yourself, do what you gotta do, and the world will see you.
I did wanna ask you about something that was going around on Facebook that was kind of like a situation that people felt some type of way, where Jocelyn said a comment where I'm gonna insert right here.
I'm different from all the other girls in ballroom. I went to college, I've studied abroad, I speak 3 languages.
So, what was your take on that?
Um, when we were in the interview, it didn't come across that way,
Mhm.
and I don't remember her saying it that way. Um, and Joss is not that type of person to
Yeah.
throw something like that in, someone's face. She knows that she's not the only educated, mother or ballroom person within the culture. She knows that she's not the only person that speaks 3 different languages. I think these were moments in her life that were moments in her life that were pivotal. Um,
Pivotal.
yeah, I can't say it. I'm like, what the fuck? But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Moments in her life that were grand to her, and she wanted to share that. She wanted to show the world why, you know, she's a trans woman and she was able to have access to these things that a lot of trans women are denied.
Yeah.
Um,
I totally agree. I just wanted someone from your house to clear that up because, you know, I know Jocelyn. So for me, knowing her, I know that she didn't mean it like that. But watching it, it did come off that way because of the edit. You
Gotcha.
know? So that's why I was like, I needed to clarify that with, you know,
Yeah,
someone else,
yeah.
you
And I
know.
actually think there's so many questions that they ask us, to be quite honest. I'm not even sure if it really came, if she even said it in that order, to be quite honest. So,
You probably didn't. It was probably chopped and screwed because you know
right.
the edit.
We were very aware of what we were saying and very aware when the cameras were around and when we were saying stuff. So if she had said it that way, definitely after the interview, we would have been like, Ma, that was not okay what you said. And we didn't even
But she's
blink.
not even that type of person, so there was really no.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now let's move on to some of my subscriber questions that they have for you. If someday they do an all-star season, which houses from season 1 and 2 should be in it, in your opinion, of course?
Oh, damn, that's a
So
question.
top 5.
Top five. Okay, I'll say top five. Definitely Prodigy. They deserve redemption. Um, I will say Prodigy. I will say Milan, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Season one, I want to say Gorgeous Gucci.
Mm-hmm.
Gorgeous Gucci, I love their house. Ninja. I don't think it's a lot of this. I think the cis women in our community don't always get the respect that they deserve. Not that they, yeah, I want to say it that way because, you know, they really do come into the space knowing that it's not theirs. Like, you know, they show a lot of gratitude for the culture and not trying to take up space that's not theirs. But, you know, I feel like once you've gone through the process of, you know, learning and being in the right mind of, you know, what this culture is about, then you deserve your flowers. And I feel like they deserve their flowers. Um, and then lastly, I would say lemon
Oh,
because they were
Lemon?
they were
Oh,
so
okay.
close. So
Yeah, they definitely were very close. That was everyone's favorite. Yeah. So next question that one of my subscribers has for you. I would love to know how they got started in ballroom and what their journey was like finding ballroom.
so I got started in ballroom at my school. I went to SUNY Purchase. Hey, any Purchase people out there? Um, I went to SUNY Purchase, and at Purchase they do fall ball, which is like a drag ball. So they incorporate drag culture. They teach, you know, the competitors how to put on a full face, how to pad, just stuff like that, like tips that they would need to compete. But then they also try to bring in a bit of ballroom culture and history into it. So Slim, back then, who was a ninja, Jason Rodriguez, who plays Lamar on Pose, he came in and he taught a workshop, and I took it in heels for the first time. My first time taking a vogue class in heels, and my second time actually wearing heels. Um, they were like these big ass like platform heels that I should have not been wearing, but whatever. Not provoking, but I got my hands on them and I was like, I'm wearing them. And he came in and he taught a workshop. And from there, I just fell in love with it. And I reached out to him the next day and I was like, hey, I want to train. I want to do more of this. Like, you know, it made me feel good. Like, it made me feel like, you know, the things that I couldn't do or told that I shouldn't do were acceptable. So I
Mm,
was like, I definitely need to know more and, you know, become a part of this culture. So that's where it happened.
love that. Love that. So next question that one of my subscribers has for you, which house or houses did they think was the biggest competition and who do they think would be the top 2 of the season?
Um, which house? Well, I kind of touched on that in the beginning. Definitely, Orichi, um, Mugler, and Tishi. I thought was going to be the biggest competition. yeah, just from the history and just knowing who was on the team and what they displayed in the Grand March and the episode after.
Yeah, and then they said who do you think would be the top two though?
I feel like Garcon is getting a lot of praise from the judges and from the viewers. So I definitely think that they would be in the top two, along with Mugler.
Mm, yeah. So a next question that one of my subscribers has for you. What was your favorite moment as a house on the show?
Being Rick James, that was
Ah, love
that was
that. Yes.
my favorite moment. Like just wearing the outfit. Oh my gosh. I think I was the only one that was able to fit those pants because my not to brag, but my waist is like a size what 27, 26. Um, so those literally fit me perfectly. I was like, oh my God, and they make my butt look good. That shirt was over, it was fab, it was everything. Like, and the hair just, I really felt like fully in that moment, like Rick James. And I was like, just to get in character. Because for me, it's a little hard to want to be in character and put on and be so animated because I do have an insecurity about like how I come across and my facial expressions and what I look like. And, I really don't like smiling sometimes because it's like just a insecurity. Like I don't like my smile, but being in that character and, the theme that we chose, I knew that it demanded a lot. So I think it was a challenge for me to just step out of my comfort. And that's why I just enjoyed that moment so much.
Mm, wow. Thank you for being vulnerable like that. That's interesting. That's great. Thank you. Um, so next question that one of my subscribers has for you. Do they think they should have won the redemption battle against the House of Icon?
Um, yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Not to say that Kylie Cat didn't do her thing because she did. Um, but I do feel like Marlene, I might be a bit biased because that's my house, but I know my sister, and that girl gives you character. She gives you breakdown. She gives you everything. Like her personality is just out there, and I mean that in a good way. Like she, she just knows how to serve. So I felt like she was giving it to the judges. And I don't think they put that clip in there, but it was just a little upsetting. Not to say that that's the reason why she should have been picked, but it was just upsetting that, you know, they had, wanted to see more of Marlene and we put her out there and it wasn't, you know, they didn't really see it for her. So, but it is what it is. Um, the judges have their reasons for picking. It doesn't have to always be about who they want to see more of, because then that kind of defeats what I said earlier. Like, saving houses because you want to see them, not just be based on their performance. So, you know, I will say that I don't regret or I'm not unhappy with the decision that they made. Um, because I think at that point in the competition, I was truly ready to go home. It was a lot mentally on me and physically. Like I said, one of the most intense things that I've ever done. Um, and I think I was satisfied with how far we've gotten. Um, the feedback and the love and the support that we have gotten, not just individually, but as a house, has been beautiful and all positive. So I think we did what we needed to be done. For the House of Milan to be seen and people to be interested and want to know more.
This next person wanted to ask you, when the episode aired, how did you feel about the House of Tishi saying not the new Milans, but the old Milans?
Tishi was birthed from the House of Milan. Not the new one. Yeah, not the new one. Oh, they're here, right? Oh, shit.
I mean, it's shade. So I was like, okay, well, it is what it is. I can't say much because I just joined the house about 2 years ago. So I definitely think it was shade, but that's what, we're asked to give. So if that's how she felt, that's how she felt. Um, I don't have anything to say about it. It is what it is.
No, yeah. So next final question I pretty much wanted to ask you. So, well, two actually, but first one is when finishing up with the show back at home, how did your house react to you guys being on the show? What were their thoughts and opinions, and have you talked to the members on, about the show and stuff?
Um, they were all really excited for us. They showed us nothing but support. They were proud of how far we got.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't, there was, yeah, I was a little nervous because, like I said, I'm newer to the house. Sorry about that. I'm new to the house. And so I was a little scared about, like, other members feeling like I didn't, I haven't paid my due diligence to be on a platform like this representing the house. Um, so the fact that I was selected to be one of the people to represent the house meant a lot to me. And it felt like, I was a valued member that could hold weight for the house. So yeah, and we received nothing but love. Everyone's so proud of us. And we just think this is a moment for, you know, not to say that we were off the map, but for this is a new door for Milan opened.
Yeah, I agree. So, each and every interview that I do, I'm a big person on just putting stuff into fruition, putting stuff in the atmosphere, making things, happen. So what would you, Maleek, want to do next? What do you have planned? Anything that you want to sponsor, anything that you got going on, anything that you just want to put in the atmosphere?
Um, I well, I'm really into choreographing right now. I'm choreographing for um these indie artists. They're called Airy. They're two twins, queer twins of color. So I'm helping, well, not helping, but I'm choreographing for their next music video. So that's a lot of fun. And I think I enjoy being in creative processes like that, choreographing. Uh, it's a different type of brainstorming than, dancing for someone. Um, and then also designing. I really love to make clothes. So that gives me a different type of enjoyment. Seeing a finished product and what it feels like and what it looks like on. So I'm putting out in the universe and I'm praying for it. Well, not the universe, but I'm praying to God. I'm praying to God that, I'll be able to have a clothing line and a brand of my own. And I know that I will, like, God, you ask God and he shall give. And not in the eyes of, everyone or how big it is, but the fact that I would be able to accomplish it, no matter if I'm selling 2,000 pieces or 100,
Yeah. As long as you're doing it, as long as you have
I,
that mindset and that passion, go for it, for sure. So if anyone out there that needs some stuff designed or needs their show choreographed, definitely hit up Maleek for sure. And I'm going to list all of his social medias down in the description box below. So make sure you guys go like him, follow him. And I do want to say thank you so much, Maleek, for coming on to my channel. I really got a different perception even more because I didn't realize how vulnerable you can be on camera, which was great. And one thing that really kind of like tugged at my heart was why you saying that you don't like to smile, and you're really hard on yourself. So I just want to say, you say it with me: I'm beautiful,
I'm beautiful.
I'm valid,
I'm valid.
and I am everything.
I am everything.
Because you are. And you're going to go far. You're going to do everything that you want to do. Just keep a strong head, strong mind, and you're going to be something amazing. You're probably, I'm hoping, like you said, the House of Milan grows and flourishes. Be one of those pinnacle pillars in that house, because they need somebody strong and they need someone focused, which they do, but more, because you know,
Yeah.
more people like that. So yes, you're going to do that. Continue being the amazing person that you are. And I love you. And thank you so much for coming on, babe. I truly do appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I appreciate this. Like when you hit me up and I was like, huh? You wanna interview me? Like, you know who else was in my house? Like, like, you sure? You sure?
You were the star of your house for sure. And you know that. It came off that way. The judges loved you. And honestly, we all love you. So, but thank you again so much. Sending love and hearts.
Yes.
Bye, honey.
Bye.
Okay, you guys, so that is the end of my interview with Maleek Milan. I hope that you loved this interview. Honestly, he kind of tugged at my heartstrings, because I just have a soft spot for people that don't see their amazingness, them being so phenomenal, and I can just see something in someone that can just be such a big star, which I believe that the Maleek is. And they, because they go by them, they pronouns. So they are amazing. They are definitely loved. They definitely were a hit on the show, and I'm proud of them. So you guys, like I said, I'm going to list all of their social medias down in the description box below. So make sure you guys go check that out. Please, if you guys know anybody that needs some choreographed work or needs an assistant to some choreography and some designing work, please hit them up. I'm so happy that they were so vulnerable and so truthful with their answers. And if you notice that they stopped and thought about what they were going to say about the question, it wasn't just a rash answer to a question that I was asking them. So that was very, very cute to me. I like to see when people really think about their answers, and that's exactly what Maleek did. And I enjoyed my interview. I hope that you guys enjoyed it as well. Give this video a thumbs up if you guys did love it, and obviously hit the subscribe button right there, right in the corner if you guys haven't, and make sure you guys hit that notification bell so you know exactly when I upload. And like always, you guys, life is your vision, and it is whatever you make it, as long as you make it freaking fabulous. Until the next one, you guys. Bye.